The great city of Baltimore was founded more than 2 centuries ago and is the largest independent city in the U.S. Within this area we call B-more, there is wealth, diversity, as well as poverty. Baltimore is like any other major city, but where it stands out is with its culture. People come to Baltimore from miles and miles to visit the greatest city in America. But beyond the typical and often overpopulated, visitor destinations like the Inner Harbor of Fells Point is a small section on a very long and once very popular street we know as
North Avenue. Transfer to Route 13, 61, and 64.
On North Avenue. Baltimore has what is designated as the Arts and Entertainment District, established in 2002 and serves as the melting pot of creative collaborations. Artists come here from around the country to utilize its platforms for their needs and desires, and businesses of artistic nature also thrive in this region. The heart of the district beats on North Avenue, which was once the cultural epicenter of Baltimore, but as time passed, the living conditions and social wealth started to diminish. Some long-term and popular business owners share their North Avenue experiences.
This place has been in this area at least 25 years.
28 years.
Like 5.5 years.
Well, I own this McDonald's. I purchased it back in 2002. Well, I don't know the entire history, but I heard a lot of good stories about the old North Avenue. And I think what I see now over the last, I'm going to say since 2007, there's been a lot of improvement on North Avenue.
I've seen this area grow, and I've seen it go back down. You know, the poverty, the drugs, the alcoholics, everything, and even killings. But I see it fluctuate, go up and down. But right now it's just pretty quiet.
In the beginning, it was rough because it was mainly a black community or people used to just hang out and stuff like that. But as the years gone by, it started to improve as far as new businesses starting to come into the area and stuff like that. So the artscape moved up in this area, so they're trying to bring new, better entertainment in the area for the community.
I mean, right now, it's still probably one of the, even in places where it gets really poverty-stricken, North Avenue is still kind of one of the places that maintains,
It's gotten better and better. More and more people are willing to come to North Avenue. First got here, people were scared of North Avenue.
The fear of North Avenue seems to have lifted, and even in distilled times, the Arts and Entertainment District flourishes. This center has inspired people from all over Baltimore as a local resident leads us to a beautiful house coated in stained glass.
Do you know who designed these?
Who designed them?
Mm-hmm.
I did.
Oh,
Yeah.
these are beautiful.
Oh, thank you. I had a house in California that I did, and so when I moved here, I just continued my art. I actually was trying to put a door on my front door, a new door, and I couldn't get it on there, so I decided to cover the house in glass instead.
The Arts and Entertainment District at Penn North remains triumphant and successful because it is the artists of the district that builds it up.
A lot of us here are artists, a lot of the employees, the staff. Ken is a singer, all-around musician. Kelly is another server. She's a multimedia artist. I'm a photographer. Dave's the bartender here. He's a photographer. We're all artistic in some capacity, So why not, include that as part of, as part of your business.
That's kind of what's good about an arts district is the artists build it up. The artists make it worth something. They bring value into a neighborhood. So it doesn't really, in an impoverished city like Baltimore, the city doesn't have to do much to have us come in here and do what we do. As long as we have space, that we can move into and we can take, we can make it worth something, more than an empty building.
Because there's so many people here, there's a ton of community space, like gallery space that's all people run out of their houses, that people have formed collectively with money from the city, that they've given in. So, there's a really thriving, arts community in terms of painting and just visual arts, plus theater. There's tons of community theater, tons, and then obviously the music scene.
Well, it's we've gotten a lot more venues that have opened up and a lot more artists that are active in the area. We always had artists here, but we've had more and more over the course of the last kind of 8 to 10 years. A lot of new venues have opened up, multi-use venues. So, for instance, the Wind Up Space has a liquor license, so it is a bar, but it also has music performances on a regular basis. They do design conversations. They have poetry readings. They have film screenings. They have art exhibitions up on the wall. So that's just one example of a number of venues in the area.
Load of Fun, which used to be the old Lombard office furniture building, got purchased by an artist who turned it into, first started as just as artist studios, but now it's independent theater. They got Single Carrot Theater in there, which is always having shows. They do a really great job. Down the street, you got Wind Up Space, the proprietor, Russell Del Campo, used to be an employee here, and we helped, Joe helped work with him, getting him helping him get his liquor license, showing him the ropes, helping him open up his own restaurant.
A great area. I think I've been really happy here in Station North. There's so many things going on in it, and since all these people are kind of developing new ideas, I feel like everything that is here now is the best of what they're doing in particular. Like Joe Squared is a great restaurant. You know what I mean? I'm doing what I do here. There's Cyclops Books. There's Metro Gallery. There's everyone who's doing something here is doing it well and with significance. So.
I mean, it's doing a lot because the city's putting in money, plus like the Maryland Institute is investing money, so it's attracting people and bringing artists, and obviously Artscape moving like in the past 2 years has moved and expanded to Charles, and they put all the art down North Avenue about 2 or 3 years ago when they started doing that too. So pretty much they're just trying to beautify the area and just bring people to businesses through the arts.
My first thought that comes to my mind on North Avenue is it's all in what you make it. There's success and there's poverty. North Avenue has the accommodations to get your ass up on your feet and do something productive and make something of yourself. There's also a negative aspect. You can get whatever you want, whenever you want, drug-wise. And for a drug addict, a recovering drug addict, it's not very safe. It's not a good place to be.
I went from seeing hardly no drugs to it being flooded, and now it's still drugs in the community, you know what I'm saying, and violence. But I understand how that goes, because it's hard when you're trying to take something. If that's all somebody knows, it's hard to take it from them. And if that's all they know how to feed, they don't have any skills to try to work anywhere, it's hard to take it from them. But in the same sense, you got respect goes a long way. I think it can be changed by people just taking the time just to get to know one another.
The younger generation is nuts, and it's not their fault. They're seeing their uncles, they see the rebellion thing, and no offense, there's a lot of black people that hold grudges on white people who they don't even know, and that's holding us back from progressing. If we could get past the color of one another's skin and work together, I would love, as far as the next generation coming up, man, these drugs are just killing our nation. It's crazy. The drugs are going rampant, and these kids think it's cool. I was one of them. I thought it was so cool to get high, because I'm a musician. I play guitar and I sing and play keyboard and stuff. And I got kicked out of my band for being a junkie.
Artistic expression has the power to unite people, but is it strong enough to fix a broken era where the youth are subjected with the negative connotations of life? Is it possible that the effects of artistic expression can deter drugs and promote better living while unifying a generation? In the society we live in, it seems that urban youth doesn't have many options, and they feel creative individuality may have become taboo. So, are the arts a necessity in today's culture?
Art is necessary, I believe, in Baltimore and in every culture because it helps change what people call reality.
I think it's very important to have arts in this environment because I think the kids and the youth need to be exposed to something else because a lot of the kids now probably are growing up out of the era where their parents were crackheads and things like that and on drugs. They were raising themselves. And they haven't been introduced to a lot of things. That's why.
Oh, it's terribly necessary. Just a way of using that force that's already going to be there to make the community a better place.
It's bringing two races of people together, comparing the differences and the struggles in one show. So art has a diverse healing effect, and I could go on for days, but and I also believe that the art scene in Baltimore is very popular. I mean, it's big, it's growing in leaps and bounds.
And I think that's really important. It's a way for folks to understand themselves better, understand each other better. It's an outlet for expression about needs, desires, impulses. So I think it's a really wonderful thing, and it's a really important part of what makes Baltimore a unique place and can really support Baltimore as a city.
Oh yeah, it's a necessity. It's a necessity in any form: painting, music, dancing, anything. It's a release. You release yourself. You put yourself and say some of the songs I write. That's me releasing some of myself to somebody else. Paint. You can look at a paint and figure out maybe what that person might be thinking, or mean something totally different for yourself. It's inspiring to other people who don't feel that they're artistic, but they are artistic. It's just a different aspect. But yeah.
I mean, well, Baltimore is overflowing with talented artists, but there's not a lot of places for them to show their craft.
There's a lot of changes that can be made. I feel like that aren't being made. There could be more programs for children who don't have any time because their parents don't want to do nothing with them. There should be there, and there are those types of things. There should just be more.
Station North's Art District is already a landmark in Baltimore's culture. The executive director shares the future plans on how the Arts and Entertainment District will put the charm back in what was once known as Charm City.
I think Baltimore is going to be recognized more and more as an arts-centric city, an arts-friendly city. It's very affordable, much more affordable than Washington or Philadelphia or New York. But I think it's becoming recognized as an arts city. Certainly Rolling Stone magazine wrote about the music scene here in Baltimore a couple of years ago, and that it's one of the hottest places for the independent music scene. I think the same thing is going to be known about art. The theater community here is incredible in Baltimore. Tons and tons of small volunteer theater companies just doing great work, and it's a way to express a lot of what's going on in the city. And I think we're going to have more visual artists moving into Baltimore too, and really working and finding a home here in the community that I was talking about earlier. And I think Baltimore really has a lot of gems. It's almost underappreciated by a lot of people. I mean, I think what's happening in Station North is making Baltimore a better place. The developments that are happening here, the arts-related activities, I think are really making Baltimore a destination. There's a couple projects that are in the works right now. The former Chesapeake Restaurant building, which is at the corner of Landvale and Charles, right next to the top of Stage Road, that building is going to be developed. Current plans are that it would be another restaurant, but also a fresh food market in there. I think they're pursuing that. The Parkway Theater building on North Avenue at the corner of Charles is slated to be redeveloped. The city owns the property. They're just trying to get control of the property before it can be redeveloped. A number of new spaces have been opening up in the North Avenue Market. The most recent one will be Liam's Irish Pub. and that'll be opening up. Currently, there's the wind-up space there. Cyclops Books and Music is there. Baltimore Print Studios is there. So it's a great old market building that's revitalizing itself with a number of small businesses and entrepreneurs. So it's encouraging people to move into Baltimore, hopefully, make a place for themselves here. A recent statistic I was reading is that the average age of the folks living in Baltimore has actually dropped in the last census. So younger people are moving into the city and staying here and wanting to be here. And I think part of what we're doing here in Station North is attracting younger folks. So I think it's really good.